Dads, if you weigh between 235 and 250 pounds and you're approaching that 40 years of age, I will go ahead and tell you, you're working the long nights, the kids are driving you crazy, stress is elevating, and you're trying to lose weight. What worked when you were 25, quite frankly, is not going to work in your 40s. In this video, I'm going to uncover exactly why, outside of the obvious, and how you can actually start making changes in your current life and in your current situation. Because here's what I see over and over again. You're working out. Maybe you're not as consistent as you'd like to be, working out 2 or 3 days a week, but you're getting in a good sweat. But more often than not, I hear that there's a lack of direction, a lack of clarity, a lack of like what you should be doing in the gym. So you're still doing something, but when it comes to results, the fat's not coming off, you don't feel like you're building muscle, you feel like your waist is getting tighter, your belt loop's getting tighter, you're not actually losing the weight. Sure, maybe you feel a little bit better, but man, you could only outwork a willpower system like for so long. You know, doing the same thing over and expecting a different result, it's gonna get fatiguing. It's gonna get boring. It's gonna get a lack of drive, a lack of motivation. And you're probably asking the question like, man, why is this so much harder than it used to be? I used to just be able to do this and used to be able to run, used to be able to do this and like didn't have to track my food. I was an athlete. It's just like, why is it so much harder now? And that's what we're gonna uncover. Why do my joints hurt? Why does my body ache? Outside of just age. Because I know a lot of really fit 40, 50, and 60-year-olds. So I'm gonna help you uncover and understand some of these things you can be doing to help you with that. My name is Kevin Andres. I'm the owner of K-Squared Fitness, and I've taken the same principles that help busy dads lose weight over and over again, pulled from working with NFL athletes and special operations. I've taken those same principles, taken that same philosophy, made it simple and a process and a system that you can follow so that you can't fail, so that you can actually start seeing results. Imagine how much more successful you'd be in the gym if you actually saw the effort for what you were doing in the gym. You'd probably follow through a lot more. And you don't even have to really work out at a gym. You can do all this from home. But as I mentioned, the biggest thing that I see is trying to do what worked in your 20s, trying to do them in your late 30s and into your 40s. It's just not gonna work. I mean, you just gotta think about it. Your biology, your stress, your sleep, your demands and work, demand with kids, all that stuff has changed, but you're trying to not change your training. Like when you were 25, you could spend an hour, 90 minutes into the gym, you could eat whatever you want, you could do whatever you want. But now it's almost like in your 40s, it's like the stress, the sleep, the hormones, all these other things. It's like if you're not actually making an adjustment to it, your body's charging you interest on it. You're going to pay for it. And that's why the very first thing that I want to talk about is recovery. Because when you were younger, you could get away with sleeping 5 to 6 hours. You could get away with training hard, not worried about mobility and not worried about actual having low energy. But now, one bad night of sleep can actually impact your insulin resistance by like 20, 30%. Testosterone is going to drop, cortisol is going to get screwed up, muscle protein synthesis isn't optimized, it's impaired. AKA, that means you are not recovering in between your workouts. Now, most of you guys aren't even training hard enough to actually recover, or quite the opposite. You're going as hard as you can every time you go in there, but you're not seeing any results. So both of these things, your body does not know the difference between physical, mental, and emotional stress. It all handles it under the same umbrella. If you get too overloaded at work, if you get too overloaded with the kids, and then you try to go sling it with your workout, you're doing too much, and your body's going to say, this is too much stress. And you're just gonna hold on to that because your body is overwhelmed. Because if you can't adapt, you're not gonna see results. And you're not gonna adapt if you can't recover. So prioritizing restoration, sleep, things that can help you restore to improve your sympathetic nervous system, to calm down, will help you reduce your stress, manage stress better, have better recovery, have better muscle protein synthesis, so you can actually see better results. And this is what we did with one of our guys, David, who just joined the program just a couple of weeks ago. He's already down, I think he said 10, 11 pounds. He started 3 weeks ago. Hear it from him.
As of this morning, I am down 10 pounds since I started with you.
Jesus, dude, you started like 3 weeks ago.
I think the body shock, the initial body shock, because it's starting to trend down from like 6 pounds to 4 pounds to hopefully like 2 pounds a week maybe.
That's great, man. And you know how we started with this process? We didn't start saying you're gonna work out 45 minutes a day and go to the gym. Like, we started working out from home literally for 15 minutes a day, prioritizing mobility. And here's why. Because if we start focusing on mobility and we start focusing on improving your strength from your joints and improving, so when you do start working out for 30, 45 minutes in the future, you don't blow out your shoulders, you don't blow out your back, you don't hurt your knees, and your body is stronger. So we reverse engineer it so that when you get here, you're not getting here, you're getting hurt and you're falling off and staying in this cycle. Get strong first, improve your core strength, improve your mobility, start moving, weight falls off, you feel good, you feel like you can continue to do this. And compared to this all or nothing approach and you keep falling off, you teeter-totter. We gotta start small, we gotta build on these these things. It also will help you manage stress, because just because you start a new program on day one doesn't mean you're gonna go headstrong. It's built on putting the left foot after the right foot, building the compounding habits that will lead to change over time. Because if you're on a weight loss journey, you have to go into this process knowing the next 90 days, I have to make decisions differently, create different habits in order to become the guy that I want. But if you try to do that like a 75-day hard process, and you try to do this all or nothing approach, you're gonna crash and burn. So you have to start doing things differently, smaller. Small enough to where you can actually do it. And that's why I want to talk about the workouts. So the other thing when it comes to the workouts, most people are doing a couple different things. They're doing random workouts. They're just piecing things together, not really sure what to be doing, remembering some stuff from high school, and I'm doing bench press, I'm doing some squats, I'm doing some leg press, like doing the exercise. But what is the difference in people that are in the gym that look great, feel great, have good energy, and the people that are also in the gym who are overweight, looking lost, no direction? What are the differences? Ask yourself that question. What makes them successful, and why am I still overweight? Or they're trying to do these programs and just saving workouts on Instagram where, like try this workout and save this workout. Like, let me go ahead and tell you, a weight loss journey isn't by trying this and trying that and trying this. It is built on a system and a structure that does this over time with your consistency, and then your weight will do this over time. Just trying to piece together random stuff and saving workouts and doing random stuff on YouTube isn't gonna cut it. Because in order to see results, you need to have, as I mentioned, compounding habits. When it comes to building muscle, we need to have progressive overload. We need to have something that says, I started here and now I'm here. Now I'm here. We need to continuously, gradually challenge the body physically so that being challenged enough to where you can actually create an adaptation. However, if you do too much at once, you don't want to end up injured. So this process needs to be strategic. It's stair step. It's checking in. Once you got to here, what are the results doing? Making data-based decisions. Are we moving in the right direction? Are we not? Do we need to increase our activity, or do we need to decrease or increase our nutrition focus? Analyzing these two things based off of numbers, looking at the things that I measure inside of our training program. We look at our weight, we look at our body fat, we look at our muscle mass, and we look at our waist. If you just started with just looking at these things every single week and reflecting, most people, as you know, what gets measured gets managed, right? But most people just base things off of I'm feeling better, I'm feeling a little bit stronger, I feel good, or the opposite. It's a feeling. But when you start making data-driven decisions, and you start saying, this is what's happening, okay, reflect on that. What areas can I improve on? How do I need to overcome the challenges that I'm facing? Where can I get support with that? Okay, now I have my plan, now I have my marching orders, let me go execute, revisit, continue on, keep marching on. This is the way. And I already know you're not doing that. Most people aren't, and that's okay. Because what worked in your 20s, you didn't have to think about all this stuff. But now that you're older, you have to be more strategic if you want to be able to run around with the kids without getting tired. If you want to be able to bend over and tie your shoes and not have your gut be in the way. If you want to be able to run up the stairs and feel good and have the energy. If you want to be able to get off of work and be able to engage with your family and have the family get the best of you and not the rest of you. If that's what you have, and that's what you want, it's gotta be progressive. It can't be random. Same thing with the guy like Frank who's in our program. The dude's now down 34 pounds and he travels all the time. So just because you're traveling and you don't have access to a gym doesn't mean that you can't be successful. You just have to have a plan built around it. Hear from Frank, see what he had to say.
I'm traveling again for another week, but like Dave just said, down another pound, so on our way.
And how much are you down from the journey?
33, same as Dave.
You boys are killing it.
Hell yeah.
Let's get it. Let's keep it up, boys. And there's tons of other different transformations that I could show you, and I get text messages like this every single week from our clients. Like, the stuff works. It works if you work though. And you're trying to outwork a broken plan is the problem. When you align yourself with the plan, with the system, with the process, you can be successful. Because let's be honest, research shows after 35, you better start buckling up, Buttercup, because it's not going to get any easier. Your muscle mass is fighting against you. Your testosterone is fighting against you. So there's things that you can do to improve your metabolism, which I just talked about in a previous video. There's things and ways you can optimize all those things, but it's not going to get any easier. You're going to have to be more intentional, more dialed in, just like you are with work. You've progressed in your career. You're more focused. You're probably in a management role now. You've done the grind. Fitness is the opposite. It was easy back then. Now you got to grind to be able to get to where you want to go. And listen, dude, I'm not a bodybuilding coach. I'm not trying to get you out on stage, get you into a Speedo, get you to start counting how much sodium is in your mustard packets when you put it on your hot dog. I'm not even saying you can't have hot dogs, you know, but you have to be aware of the choices that you are making. And we make it super simple with our process. We have a 4-step nutrition process that we focus on one thing at a time. And guess what? Counting calories and how much protein and how much fat you should be eating isn't in any of these 3. It's way over here, and it's a very valuable skill, but there's a ton of things you can be doing first to start seeing some results. But the biggest thing that I hear that holds men back every single week, and I ask them the question, easiest way to achieve anything in life is by teaming up with someone who's already done it before, right? Yes. Well, what has prevented you from actually getting some help? And they say every time, and you probably said to yourself, I thought that I could do it by myself. My pride, my ego, I should be able to do this. I know that I can do this. I've done this before. And there is a difference in working hard and working efficiently, because when the gun goes off at the race, if you start running that way, and you're supposed to be going that way, guess what? That dude's not getting closer to his goal. This guy has the plan. This guy has the strategy. Well, what makes the difference in this guy who actually starts being successful? Because let's be honest, at the starting line, everybody has the same goal. Everybody wants to lose the weight, but there's a reason why in the mile race, the last lap is lonely, is because when things get hard, people fall off. So everybody's gonna be locked in on day 30. Everyone, smaller percentage is gonna be locked in on day 60, day 90, day 120. Out of 100 people, be the freaking 1% that actually follows through and commits to the process. If you do that, I'll go ahead and tell you, man, it's not all sunshines and rainbows, because life's gonna throw you punches, financial stress, kids, work, sleep, stress, marriage, all these different things, but it is damn sure worth it on the other side. When come summertime, you pop your shirt off and you feel fantastic and you feel confident in front of all the other dads. You feel confident that your kids look at you and they want to go play, and you're like, let's get out, let's go run, let's go play. If you can remember the real reason why you're doing this entire process, to be around for your daughter's wedding so you can see the grandkids, when your why becomes big enough, your how becomes way easier. And you know, just like when you played athletics in the past, you've been training by yourself for a long time when no one's watching, when there's no real pressure. But when you have a coach in your corner, when you played athletics, guess what? There's no freaking cutting corners when coach's eyes are on you. And guess what? You elevated your game. Or you're gonna ride the pine. And you're not someone who wants to ride the pine, you wanted to play. Right now you're sitting on the pine just waiting for your turn. Time is ticking by. You're already paying a cost by not being the best version of yourself. So ask yourself truly, what is it that's holding you back from getting a coach? And if you wanna have a coach who gives a damn, who can align the same principles and processes, and I'll be the guy that tells you what you need to hear versus what you wanna hear to help you get to the outcome. I'm a performance-driven coach. If you wanna be able to get back down to 200 pounds, I'm not gonna tell you on day one that this is all the things you have to start doing. It's actually quite the opposite. It's not gonna be overwhelming. It's gonna be so simple that you're like, this is it? This is all I have to do? Yeah, prove it to me. Do that at an exceptionally high level, then do it again, and then again, and then again, and then again. And guess what happens? 30, 60, 90 days, the weight falls off. Just like each one of these guys I'm showing here on this screen, the transformations is all by starting small. If you wanna have help, check out the description down below. Let's rock and roll.